through the main leagues as usual. I'm going to start with Spain. Obviously, we had the big El Clasico this week. In my opinion, it's not as big as it used to be. I think both teams have lost a lot of the star names. Obviously, we've got a Real Madrid fan here on the call with us today. Danish 2-1. What did you make of the game? Is it as big as it used to be? What's the perspective on it? How do the fans feel, etc.? Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first real post-Messi, post-Ronaldo El Clasico. Ronaldo's been gone for years, but now Messi's gone as well. I'm not going to lie. That was one of the best played El Clasicos in the last couple of years. Both teams played extremely well. If I would put any sort of title on this, it would be, a younger El Clasico. Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid doing extremely well. Fati and Gavi from Barcelona, they're having a 17-year-old on the pitch in Barcelona. No one is really talking about that. That's incredible. And Fati as well being extremely young. So this was a younger man's game. And I think it was a very well played. Happy about the result. Alaba killing it with a fantastic goal and a massive defensive performance. Vinicius playing extremely well the first half, but creating so many chances. I thought it was a great game. But I mean, for Barcelona's sake, this is 4 in a row for Real Madrid now.
Yeah.
So
I was going to touch on that. Yeah.
It's funny you only beat them when all their team is gone, isn't it? We're right all those years.
Listen,
But I mean, I thought it was a good game. I think it's as big in Spain, and I think it's as big internationally.
That was my next question.
It's different teams. It's a generation shift.
I was looking at it there, lads, obviously, we've touched on the fact that Messi and Ronaldo have gone. Some big names have left those teams. Varane, Ramos. I've just picked out a couple of players that were on show the other day. So obviously, Barcelona, you've got young players. You've got Gavi, Pedri, Menenguez, Serginho Dest, the right fullback playing right winger the other day. Actually had a good game. Caught most of the highlights of it. And then, Madrid, they've lost a couple of big players, but they still have the old guard there. Modric, Casemiro. Marcelo didn't play. He doesn't seem to be getting a look in at the moment. Mendy seems to be playing pretty well. My question always was, how would Real Madrid compete losing your 2 centre halves? It was bonkers to let them go at the same time. Obviously, they knew they had Alaba coming in, but there seems to be a lot of trust put in Militao. What do you think of that, lads? All the players gone out, and as Danish touched on, the younger man's El Clasico, it looks like now.
Go on, Mitch.
Craig?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think I made my feelings clear about the El Clasico a couple of weeks ago. I mean, for me, I was put off by it become more of a soap opera. With all these stars and all these egos and everything, it was more of a soap opera than a football match. I think now, actually, the appeal may be more with these younger guys coming through. They're more hungry. A lot of them are homegrown from the academies. They know all about, well, not that you need to be homegrown to know about what the El Clasico means, but they're younger players coming through. It may be a bit more competitive now. But yeah, I mean, for me, I've always enjoyed the El Clasico. Recent years I've been a little bit put off with it. But, I mean, to touch on your question there about them letting their players go, these sides, I mean, La Masia and Madrid's city of football, I think is, am I wrong, Danish?
Yeah.
But, I mean, they just, it's like a conveyor belt of talent just coming through and through and through. And it's brilliant. I mean, I think a lot of English teams and a lot of teams around the world could learn from it. They get a chance on a big level. But, I mean, I think they would have known the players they got coming through. And I think Real Madrid aren't a selling club. Barcelona actually are now. So I don't think they would have let them go if they didn't know what was coming through.
I think Real have shocked me a little bit, because they did lose a lot of very important players, and they're they're doing all right in the Champions League and second in the league. I actually expected Atletico to kind of run away with it this year. But for them to be right up there, Barcelona got hit hard with everything that's going there. So they're kind of where they should be with the amount of experience in their squad they have. Like, they're in a worse position than Real. But Real bought good players. Alaba coming in, Camavinga coming in. They're having an impact. Benzema's in for a shout for the Ballon d'Or. A couple of things.
He's been sensational this year, hasn't he? Benzema. He's been fucking unbelievable. Just his touch, the chest the other day in the Classico. Unbelievable. He's like Benjamin Button. He's fucking gotten better than he was. He's lost 10 years.
He's become a complete player, which he wasn't when Ronaldo was there. He was Ronaldo's sidecar. He was serving him a lot of the balls. He was sort of the sideshow to Ronaldo for a long time. But he's become an extremely important player, and he lets a lot of balls off, and he makes a ton of assists as well as a ton of goals.
Yeah.
So he's impressive this year.
I think he's one of the most underrated players in Europe. I think.
Yeah, fact, 100%, definitely. And Craig, you touched on it there. Barcelona, where they're sitting in the league. Obviously we've got Sociedad up there, a relatively unknown coach. I had the name written down here. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. Imanol Alguacil. Sociedad, obviously we know they've had this reputation for so many years. They could only bring in Basque players. Obviously that's been lifted in recent years. They brought in Alexander Isak from Sweden. He came from Dortmund. They've got Sorloth, the Norwegian lad up front. David Silva gone back, experience into the team. They've been performing well. Do you think they'll keep it up? Or?
I think so. Like, they're doing well in Europe as well. Like, they're in their games, their performances are all right. I've seen them a couple of times. They brought some good players. David Silva's obviously huge experience. The thing about the Spanish league is every year it kind of seems like there's unknown coaches. You never hear of them, but they pop up, and then all of a sudden they're all bought by the big clubs. So it doesn't shock me that their coach is relatively unknown across Europe. But with what he's doing now, like, that's massively impressive. Even with
they've a very young team as well. There, I was looking. They've a Barentia and a few others there in centre mid and centre back. They're 20 to 23. A lot of these players in this squad.
That shows he must be a very, very good coach. Do you know what I mean? Bringing in young lads, bringing in the good experience with Silva. To be top of the league 10 games in La Liga is not easy. Even with the problems that Real and Barca have had, they're beating Sevilla. They're beating Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
It is. He's obviously doing a really good job there. He has some good young talent. Whether they can do that over the course of a whole season might be tough, but I could see top 4 finish for them, definitely.
So you think Sociedad have the ability to displace either Atletico, Real, Barca or Sevilla? I
do, yeah. I think Barca are struggling. It's going to take a lot of time for them to kind of find their flow. There's a lot of
on that, do you think we could see Barcelona in the Europa League next year?
To be honest, I think if we were ever going to see it, I think this could be the year.
Lads, what do you think? Mitch?
I've got to say, I agree. I mean, like you say, if there is ever going to be a year we're going to see it, this is going to be the year. They're in turmoil. I mean, they're talking of getting rid of Koeman already. I think if they didn't have so much money trouble, he probably would have been gone already anyway. But I would imagine there's some issue of a payoff and whatever else goes with it. But, I mean, I think they could. Sociedad, I mean, I'd love to see them break into the top 4. It's a great story. They won the Copa del Rey last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I would really love to see something like even, I mean, Sevilla quietly have been building a decent side there as well. You've got Betis up there. I would like to see someone sort of shake it up in there. I liked it a few years ago when you had Villarreal with flying at home. I mean, but it's probably 10 years ago now. Time flies so quick.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
And our resident Guillem Balag, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I think Sevilla is a strong team as well. I mean, if you're going to pay attention to a 4th team out of the top 3, where Barcelona may or may not be, but for right now, we'll still see them as a big team. think Sevilla is got to be the team that you see after. Though I hate playing against Real Sociedad. I mean, I think there is the forward Alex Isak. He is extremely well playing right now, and he's been like that. You know, when we meet them every year, going back a little bit, he was always there, and he was always very, very effective. So he building up a team around that forward, and as well as a young team again. I don't know, top four, maybe a difficult one, but I definitely see them at Europa League spots, and maybe, I mean, combine Barcelona having a bad time with a bad economy. I mean, yeah, maybe this is the year that we'll see, you know, a giant like Barcelona fall. We're used to seeing in the Premier League, but in the other, in the Spanish league, you don't ever see Atletico, or you go way back at least, not seeing Atletico, Real Madrid, or Barcelona in Champions League. So this it'll be an interesting one, and I can't help it.
I've got to say, I think I'd love to see Barcelona drop out of it altogether, and then see like an AFC Barcelona come flying up. I tell you, that'd be some story there.
The reason I asked that question is because, you know what, I actually quietly believe that myself. I think Barcelona could miss out this year. You know, I was looking at the squads that some of these teams have built up. You know, obviously Atletico have strengthened. They've got Griezmann. They've got, you know, Suarez, Carrasco, you know, Lamar. They have all these players, all these goal-scoring threats, you know, Felix, you know. Real Madrid are quietly, consistently performing. They've gone about their business in a professional way. You know, Sevilla, I think, you know, they go under the radar so much. I think your man Lopetegui, Julian, I don't think he was given the rub of the green at Madrid. You know, the squad he's assembled there, you know, he's taken some really top performing players from Europe and other Spanish teams, and he's assembled not a starting 11, maybe an 18-man squad there that you can rely on any of them, really. I think Lamella's hit the ground since he's come in. You know, he's got Rafa Mir, a few players like that. I think Barcelona could drop out.
Yeah, I mean, did you see as well the other day? I think it was on Instagram. Someone done a post of a video of them in the Barcelona box, a box of Barcelona. Fuck me, it looked like something Jeffrey Dahmer lived in. It was shocking in 2021. A team of that size. Yeah. And listen, if their executive boxes are anything to go by,
but that club, as we've touched on, they're in turmoil. Like it's. Yeah, so I think, you know, I think they've installed these 1 billion buyout clauses on Gavi and Ansu Fati, hoping that Newcastle might come knocking in fucking January. So we can pay the rest of the players and not with administration. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think that could be the case now. And as you mentioned, Betis are performing well in Europe as well. I think Barcelona have a fight in their hands. So I'll move on to Germany. Quickly. Can Bayern Munich be, you know, dethroned? Does anybody think otherwise?
I mean, I'll be honest.
The world team right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got to be one of the best teams in European football at the minute. But I mean, you take them out of it, I think the Bundesliga is one of the most competitive leagues in Europe. But they've got a bit of a monopoly at the minute. I mean, they're getting richer and richer. I think the gap is growing between them and the rest. Leipzig seem to go close. Dortmund, you know, they're on and off one season after the next. But I can't see anyone.
Craig?
It's great to see how close it is after 9 games in the Bundesliga. Do you know what I mean? Like the leagues across Europe, obviously the Premier League is the best league, but for years these leagues were only 2-3 team leagues, and now you're seeing these other clubs kind of emerge and compete. I think Dortmund would be your best shout, but isn't Haaland out injured now? I think he did his hip flexor.
2022, they reckon. Yeah, hip injury. Could be January before he's back. And they are the closest. Have I got it right here? They're 2 points behind Munich, and they're the closest to.
He's the one that bails them. Like, I've seen Dortmund games, and they haven't looked dominant in lots of them, but he bails them out a lot.
Yeah, they score lots of goals, but he always seems to score the winning goals. I think defensively they struggle a bit, but yeah. Danish, what's your take on it? Munich, can they be decent?
I don't think they are. And I think, especially with Holland being out. By the way, I love seeing English-speaking people pronounce other names, Spanish, German. It's the greatest experience.
Can we mute him?
Are you guys English?
Is that English he's speaking?
Spanish.
I don't think anyone's going to be there. I think Bayern Munich up there with Liverpool and Chelsea. I think that's the top 3 teams in the world right now. And are going to be the top 3 teams in Champions League, depending on if they draw each other. But I don't think so. I think they were going to run with it.
I have written here, right? So obviously we've got a surprise in the Bundesliga. We've got Freiburg sitting up there in the top 5. Obviously just a good start to the season. Looking at their squad, strength and depth, they're not going to maintain that. Although we have seen these stories. Leipzig, I think Mitch, you mentioned it there, Craig. Obviously, we mentioned before they lost their manager, their centre half, and their captain to Bayern Munich. But they brought in, Andre Silva from Frankfurt, 20 plus goals. Dominic Szoboszlai from Salzburg, who's only recently returned to action. He was out injured. They're struggling. Silva can't seem to hit the back of the net. The players seem to be missing that core group that left. It's not looking good for Leipzig or Frankfurt, mind you, who qualified for the Champions League, Europa League last year. Yeah. They are struggling. They lost 2-0 to Bochum, who only got promoted the weekend. I think they had 2 points before this weekend's game. So Frankfurt struggling down there. Is this just a case of the rich keep getting richer in Germany and the poor keep getting poorer?
Yeah, like Leipzig shot themselves in their own foot, you know what I mean? Like, you can't sell your best players all to the best team and expect to get any results. You get lucky. You can't identify quality players that haven't been found before every single year. There's going to be times where they're going to get it wrong, and they might be getting caught out now because of it. If they're going to really grow to be the club that they could be, they have to refuse to sell to Bayern. You have your players on contract. It doesn't matter. Let them kick up, let them cry, whatever. If you want to eventually be seen as a competitor to Bayern and Dortmund and all, you can't sell to clubs within your league. You just can't.
Yeah. It's not a money thing for them either. It's not a club, let's be honest, that's struggling with money.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
I mean, take the hit. Don't sell. If you want to beat Bayern Munich, don't sell to Bayern Munich. I mean, don't best players. That just makes no sense.
Danish, your internet box is down the toilet there, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's been bad today.
Stick it in the washing machine today, did you?
He's running it off a fax machine.
Again, this is Sweden. This is fucking dark ages.
Okay.
I think just briefly touching back on the Leipzig thing, is it a case, we're seeing bizarre clauses going contracts all the time? Apparently Neymar and Messi have their own fucking ridiculous clauses. Is it a case that we could see, Germany being prime example, players coming in and clauses that they won't be sold to Bayern Munich? Do you think that's possibly the way forward with German teams? When your time comes to go, we won't sell you to Munich, so you'll have to find a stepping stone there.
I mean, at the minute, I don't think there's... Yeah, I mean, Bayern Munich looking more dominant now in Germany than they sort of have been at any period in sort of recent memory. I think that's what other clubs are going to have to do in the league. If they want to keep up with them, they're going to have to, like you've already said, they've got to stop selling to Bayern Munich. That's it. I mean, if Bayern Munich are going to go to the Premiership and take a talent and bring him back, go to Spain and bring him back, fair enough. But if you're going to sell your own players to direct rivals, I don't know. But then I look at the German league and you think, well, are some of the clubs who are not winning the title, are they hard up for cash? Or, I mean, I know the TV revenue isn't as big. You've got teams like in German Division 3, like Kaiserslautern, who've got like 50,000 seater stadium. you know, and they're down in those leagues, you know, getting 50,000 fans every year. Is there a problem with the money filtering down? I don't know, but
I think
that's they have to stop selling to it. That's it.
I think, look, these clubs, the likes of a Dortmund and a Leipzig, like, their scouting system is unbelievable. They're finding these talents from a young age. When these talents are signing for their club, they probably would sign a contract that said that, because, you know, like, this club is taking a chance on them. So they could include that. And Dortmund and Leipzig and all them should probably come together and come to an agreement that no one sells to Bayern anymore. There's a reason why Bayern win every year.
Yeah.
You have to do something.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's why I have it written down here. I think, you know, as I mentioned, we see some bizarre clauses, and I think maybe this is the only way forward for other German teams.
Yeah.
My connection all right there for you, because we're all freezing here on me.
No, you're grand, yeah.
Danish is after sending some Trojan horses this way.
You guys are making fun of me. I couldn't have it.
All that internet porn is catching on.
Wait, with you?
You're gone again.
Don't tell me off on that one.
Yeah, Shane, he was too busy looking up Paul Scholes sucking his daughter's toes before he came on.
Right, lads, I think I'm good to go, yeah?
Yeah, good, you're good.
You're good, yeah. Testing.
Yeah, sound right, okay. So I'm gonna move on to Serie A. So we had the top teams in Serie A play each other this week. All right, we had Napoli, Roma 0-0, Juve, Inter 1-0.
What an exciting league!
yeah. We had Napoli and AC Milan still unbeaten, 25 points at top of the league. We had Jose Mourinho, Simone Inzaghi, and Gasparini all sent off. 3 managers this weekend. I think there was 6 managers sent off in Serie A this weekend.
So I think I spoke to him soon.
In Serie A,
I take that back.
Oh my God!
What is going on?
The league is brilliant.
Oh, Serie A is for me. This is probably one of the best seasons in Serie A for years, because the competitiveness now, like, it's not just Juve. All these other teams, like Napoli, are really, like, over the last few years, and they held on to Koulibaly. They didn't sell him to their rivals in their league. Do you know what I mean? Mertens and all of them that they managed to keep. There's a reason why Napoli are competing this year. You know, Milan are building a decent squad. It's good to see all these names back up there. Do you know what I mean? And to knock Juve off their perch a little bit.
And I think we're starting to see a little bit of a gap already. So as I mentioned, we've got Napoli and AC on 25 points. You know, we've got Inter on 18, Roma on 16, Atalanta and Juve 15, Lazio 14. It's a bit of a gap there already.
Big up gap, yeah.
I think Napoli will take that.
Do you think Napoli will win it, yeah?
I think Napoli have it this year. It's theirs to throw away. They've only conceded 3 goals in 9 games. Do you know what I mean? And
they've been so good.
They're playing some of the good teams in the early games as well. They're scoring goals. For me, it's theirs to throw away. But it will be interesting to see who fights for those other Champions League spots.
Yeah, I think that was my next question. So, you know, lads, I've mentioned Napoli, Roma, Inter, Juve, Atlanta, Lazio. So that's obviously 6 teams there. You know, how do we feel this faring out? You know, do Juve have enough to get in there?
I mean, I don't think you can ever write Juve off, can you? They've got a great side. They've always got a decent squad, and they always seem to put runs together. I don't think you can ever write them off. As a football fan looking from the outside, I would like to see them drop out. I like to see that.
Change it up.
I'm a Fulham fan. I like to see the smaller teams that do well. But I mean, I think you can't write them off. But there's a big gap starting to open up now, especially the top 2. 10 points at this stage of the season is massive. Yeah. And I mean, I watched Napoli the other week against Torino, I think it was.